Welcome back to Martinsville, getting ready for a restart. The Advance Auto Parts 200. 78 laps on the board as they come by this time. 122 remain. And we're back underway in DeRoyne in the 20, trying to hold on to the point, but the 04 will sneak by and take over the top spot. That's the car of Fred Bordemeyer. Neither of those cars pitting during that last caution. So Bordemeyer is your third leader of the day. Make it fourth leader of the day. DeRoyne getting credit for leading under the caution.
Yeah, good run for Freddie Bordemeyer Jr. on that restart. Came off the second corner, used that outside to take the lead from Tim DeRoyne, and now he finds himself leading the charge as they come off at turn number 2. Look at him get a little bit loose. The car washes out.
Way loose. The 20 car there of DeRoyne really sliding off of turn 2. The 73, L.W. Miller, he was involved in some of that contact earlier with the 28 car. He's up in third, car not damaged, and here comes Tom Baldwin in the 7. 7 New York, that familiar black machine, up into the top 5 for the first time here today.
The two Long Island rivals side by side right there. That's the number 84 of John Fortin at the inside of the 7 of Tom Baldwin. John Fortin, the 2001 Riverhead Raceway champion, going side by side with Tommy Baldwin. You watch, these two drivers are going to go at it tooth and nail. Look, they're already starting to bang wheels.
L.W. Miller not able to keep the 73 car down on the bottom. I think Tommy Baldwin Sr. thought he could go by both cars in turns 1 and 2 there, and because Miller slipped up the racetrack, that door was closed. So Baldwin will try to stay on the gas on the outside and get by Fortin. Fortin with a really good effort here, qualified 7th today in that light blue number 84 machine.
And look how good he gets into the corners.
Yeah.
He gets into the corners real good. He gets about a car length advantage as he over Tom Baldwin as he dives into the corners. The problem is right now, it looks like the 73 of L.W. Miller.
There, yeah.
Contact. And it looked like the 73 of L.W. Miller are just holding up the line.
Sure does look that way. Iwanitzko gets by. Jamie the Jet Tomeno in the 99 had a problem there. He was involved in that skirmish. Lots of action further back in the pack as the faster cars. You see Iwanitzko trying to get through the field and make his way toward the front, get by the 77 of Blewett in the bargain. There's the 5 of Pastriak, Marquis in the blue 34, all trying to work their way back toward the front now after pit stops.
Yeah, Jerry Marquis trying to work on Charlie Pastriak. It's a good run for Charlie Pastriak so far this year. Didn't have that great of a run last year, finished 20th, but he's really putting in a strong drive right now.
As we watch the V4, there's Ruggiero in the deuce, the 79 of Flemke. Here's Fortin again in the 84.
Getting a little help from Tom Baldwin. Yeah. See the little love tap he gave him for going into the corner?
Fortin to the outside. He was able to go inside to the outside to work his way by DeRoyne now, and that'll allow Baldwin to get by as well. The guy who loses out in that is L.W. Miller. He loses a couple of spots. DeRoyne, you can see these cars that did not pit, they're way loose compared to the drivers with fresh tires, as you would expect.
Yeah, a lot of the drivers stayed out under that caution for track position to pick up as many spots as they can. John Fortin was one of those guys who did benefit from that. He sits within the top 10 right now. He's getting pressure from Tommy Baldwin, but he still holds on to that 7th spot.
Fortin in the 84, running well. Baldwin right behind him in that black car with the white number 7 on the door. One of the veterans of the series, Tommy well in his 50s, but still very, very competitive. Interesting guy to talk to, certainly. Very intimidating. Yeah. He's a big fella, no doubt about that. Very big fella, very intimidating, tough as nails to race with on the racetrack. If you tap him once, he's going to come right back after you and let you know that he didn't like it. Bordemeyer in the 04 in front of this battle. Running very well. Oh, in trouble. DeRoyne has spun another car in the wall. So DeRoyne in that blue number 20 goes around. He was the restart leader just a few moments ago. He spins, brings out another caution, another car involved in that incident. DeRoyne started 20th in the 20 car. The other car involved was the number 33 of independent racer Wade Cole. Timmy DeRoyne had brought out that yellow flag. He'll bring his 20 car onto pit road. His crew will have to go to work and take a look and see if there's any problem. He'll probably take tires. He did not stop just a few moments ago, and there they go with fuel and a right rear tire. It doesn't look like there's any severe damage on the car. They're just getting a splash of gas, a right rear tire. They're going to check over everything and hopefully get him back out onto the track. Wade Cole in the 33 car. Those two apparently had tangled, but evidently not any damage done, as you mentioned, Derek, to either machine. So DeRoyne waiting patiently while the crew bolts that right rear tire on. Get him down and away here in just a second. NASCAR official watching as DeRoyne puts the car in gear, and off they go. And he'll rejoin the pack for the upcoming restart. And you're not going to see these quick 15-second pit stops like the Winston Cup guys are doing. These are all independent guys. They're just, you know, hired crew workers. And a lot of them aren't paid. A lot of them are volunteers, friends, and so forth.
That's it. They just come for the love of the sport.
And DeRoyne's certainly a racer who runs for the love of the sport. Good to see Tim in action, having a good afternoon here so far. Pontiac safety car ready to dive back in, going down into turn 3. Vordermeyer in the 04, and John Fortin in the 84 will be the front row on the restart. Tom Baldwin will go third in that black 7. L.W. Miller is next in line. Tomeno in the 99, and then the pole sitter, the 17 of Uinitsko, and we're back underway.
It's a drag race down at the turn 1. John Fortin, very impressive here. The rest of the pack behind them, everyone's stacking up.
A couple of cars spin right at the drop of the green. Everybody trying to get by on the high side or down low, trying to thread their way through the mess. One car up against the inside wall. Another car crossed up at the entrance to turn 1, and we will not get a restart that time around. The green came out, but the yellow replaces it immediately. A couple of cars in trouble. Let's get another look at what happened down on the bottom of the racetrack. Charlie Pasteryak in the 5 car spins, and we saw the 94 in trouble there as well. Everyone with heavy contact, everyone trying to sneak through the mess. Pasteryak, Derek, with some heavy damage to the left rear corner of that car.
Yeah, when the number 5 spun down low in turn number 2, he backed the car into the inside wall. That pushed the bumper and the left rear Nerf bar right into the tire. That's the cause of all of that tire smoke.
You've got to come to pit road and fix that. You'll cut the tire, and that'll be it. You'll be done if that should happen. So Charlie Pasteryak, who started up front, he's been in the top 5 all day. He's got to come to pit road for a quick stop. We'll take a quick time out here on Speed Vision. Closing in on halfway here at Martinsville Speedway, the NASCAR Featherlite Modified Series on Speed Vision. Charlie Pasteryak with big trouble. Started 4th today, running very strong. He spun up between turns 1 and 2, backed into the inside concrete, and the crew's got the left rear tire off, trying to bend the Nerf bars, straighten the back end of that car out enough so there's no tire rub back there. Molding a new tire on. They're trying to get Pasteryak down and away so that he doesn't lose any more laps to the lead pack. Here he is heading around pit road. He'll try to rejoin the field, but look at that, Derek. I see some smoke coming out of there still. There's something else rubbing under there.
Yeah, they were really slamming on that left rear Nerf bar with the sledgehammer, but they didn't get it pushed back far enough. You see the smoke coming off the left rear tire once again. Unfortunately, he's going to have to go back into the pit area, and this is going to cost him a lot of ground.
Safety car has the lights turned out. We're just 5 laps short of halfway in the Advanced Auto Parts 200 today, and we should see a restart next time by. John Fortin in the 84, that light blue machine. He's been out in front the last dozen or so laps around Martinsville, and he's been running very strong. Young driver from Riverhead Raceway out on Long Island, making his first foray into the modified tour. This, of course, where the big boys play in open-wheel modified racing in the Northeast. And here's Pasteryak headed back to pit road in turn 3.
Tough break as they come back to the restart. Pasteryak's going to have to pit. He's going to go a lap down. Fortin's going to lead the charge down at the turn number 1.
Fortin in the 84 car as they get the green again. There's the 04 machine, and Baldwin in that black number 7 going for second spot. Tom Baldwin with a good run going here today.
Yeah, Tom Baldwin is a very, very strong competitor here at Martinsville especially.
Yeah.
He finished 3rd here last year, but if you look at the top 3, they're all Riverhead Raceway veterans. If you've ever been to Riverhead Raceway, it's a little tight quarter-mile
It's a
bull
parking
ring.
lot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
These turns kind of resemble Riverhead, where you are really close and really tight lap after lap.
You learn how to race. You learn how to manage traffic at a place like Riverhead, and here at Martinsville as well. Here's Uinitsko in the 17. Ted Christopher in the 25 right with him. Jerry Marquis there and John Blewett all in a bunch. Eddie Flemke in that white car with a purple trim, the 79, all together trying to battle back toward the front of the field here at Martinsville. Remember that the 17 with Uinitsko, they were the pole sitters here today, and he led the first 55 trips before getting passed by Blewett. Blewett's been unable to get back up through there. I thought Blewett would march right through the field after his pit stop, but it's taken him a little longer than I thought it would to get through traffic.
Definitely taking him a little longer, and yes, traffic is becoming a factor. Look at these cars.
Oh, and Blewett gets tapped and goes out to the wall, just avoids hitting the concrete. Blewett got wrapped in the hind end and turned around there, but he's okay.
It was inevitable. These drivers are really leaning on each other, and eventually somebody's got to give, and that was John Blewett.
Blewett back on the gas, gets the car down to the bottom. He's in behind Bo Gunning's 09 car right now. So Blewett lost a lot of track position.
And you know he's mad.
Yeah.
He's real mad, and he really wants to make up all that ground that he lost.
Down down the back straightaway. Here's Blewett in the 77, had led earlier. Here's Baldwin right behind him. Tomeno in the 99, Ioannitsko in the 17. So Ioannitsko is back into the top 5 now. We'll see how quickly he can get by Baldwin here.
Look at him work the top side of that speedway. Mike Ioannitsko can work the top line of any track on the Featherlite Modified Series. He just knows how to manhandle a car.
Oh, in trouble. One car goes around. Looks like the 04, Fred Bordermeyer, has spun up in turn 4. So we get the caution yet again, and another car up into the wall on the high side. So trouble up in turn 3 and 4 here, and we're back under yellow. Tough
break. That's Jim Willis. Also, Jamie Asklar looks to be sitting in the middle of the turn. But it looked like Freddie Vordermeyer got a little help from L.W. Miller.
Meantime, there's Fortin in the 84. He was the restart leader last time we had a caution, and he will continue at the front of the pack. Let's get another look at it down into the corner. Looks like Vordermeyer went around by himself. Everybody gets on the brakes. Christopher slows down, and there's some contact a little bit higher. Take a look at it coming out of turn 4 here. See Vordermeyer's car going around down low, and then way after this happens, there's the red machine, the 62 car of Willis, shooting up into the outside wall, and he got into the concrete. So Willis may be done for the day. He'll refire the car. We'll see what the damage is to the 62. The driver qualified 12th here this weekend.
Yeah, that was a tough break for Jim Willis. Actually spun backwards up the track and slapped the outside wall. He hails from New Jersey. He is one of the leading rookie candidates for the rookie title for the Featherlite Modifieds.
There you see the tire marks where Willis spun, went up the wall, and hit the NASCAR Winston Cup Series sign on the outside retaining wall here at Martinsville. And there's Asklar in the 28. Started 28th, got into trouble with L.W. Miller earlier, spinning and bringing out a caution flag. And the wreckers will have to come to the scene and help these two drivers get those machines off the racetrack before we can get racing here again.
Tough to see what kind of problems are with Jamie Asklar in the number 28, the Newcomb Spring number 28. He hails from Plainfield, Connecticut, and he's going to get put on the hook for the wrecker, but didn't see if anyone got into him.
Wonder if maybe something might have locked up in the drivetrain of that car, the way he just stopped there and is unable to refire without any visible damage. That does happen in these cars at times. There's Timmy DeRoyan in the 20, led briefly earlier, spun, pitted, got tires and gas, and he's back on the racetrack now from 20th starting spot in that Pontiac-bodied machine. Everybody realigning for the restart here. We're past halfway now. There's Wade Cole in the 33. He and DeRoyan, the two drivers who got together and caused that caution several laps ago.
Yeah, both drivers are a lap down, over a lap down, and right now Tim DeRoyan, who was running up at the front of the field, having a little bit of trouble, and of course the number 33 of Wade Cole, the independent racer, he's out there, but he hasn't been running up at the front of the field.
Cole, one of the series veterans. He's been at it a good long time, as is DeRoyan. DeRoyan's been around in these modified machines for a number of years. Very strong up at New Hampshire International Speedway. That's his favorite place to go race. And really, that's not much different from Martinsville. It's longer, of course, being 1 mile, but configured very similarly to Martinsville. Flat corners, and everyone calls them paperclip racetracks, as you mentioned before, Derek. Some of the cars coming to pit road here as the work goes on up between turns 3 and 4, trying to clean up after that 3-car skirmish.
Yeah, 2 drivers are coming down pit road, taking advantage of this caution flag. The one is the 5 of Charlie Pastiak, probably checking the car over to see if there's anything that may be amiss on that number 5. The other is Freddie Vordermeyer. He spun around in turn number 4. The caution came out because of him. Might as well bring the car down pit road, check the car over, see if there's anything else wrong, and get back out there in the race.
Well, Pastiak's crew will go back to work on the 5. Remember, he had all that damage on the left rear corner after backing into the concrete wall on the inside between turns 1 and 2.
And they're still taking the sledgehammer to that Nerf bar.
One of the great things about modified racing, you can do a lot of engineering with a sledgehammer. There's Vordermeyer's car, the 04. He spun earlier to kind of trigger this whole thing, and his crew takes a look. They put some sticker tires on the right-hand side of that car, and Vordermeyer is down and away.
Yeah, these cars are like the troublemaking cousins in the NASCAR family. A lot of rubber, a lot of horsepower, and a lightweight car.
Some of the drivers heading to the infield care center for a quick check. We'll be back in a moment.
If you ride a motorcycle, please be careful, because accidents do happen. I'm Pat Riley of 1-800-CYCLE-USA, the motorcycle lawyers. If you or someone you know has been injured in a motorcycle accident, call us right now at 1-800-CYCLE-USA. And remember, we can help, even if you don't have a license or insurance. Call 1-800-CYCLE-USA, the motorcycle lawyers. Call us free, the advice is free, and there's no charge until we settle your case.
Even a minor accident can cost thousands of dollars to repair. A bad accident can cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars in damage and medical expenses. If liable, This can ruin you financially.
Don't drive without insurance and risk having a financial nightmare. Eastwood can have you covered, regardless of your age, vehicle, or driving record, with rates as low as $39 a month. Call Eastwood today at 1-800-468-LESS.
Eastwood has you covered.
Cadillac owners are frequently amazed at the public's high regard for the car of cars, even after it has seen 2 or 3 years of service. That in itself is a wonderful reason for buying a quality value late model used Cadillac. But in addition, there is its great practicality. Many one-owner, low-mileage used Cadillacs are priced considerably less than many medium and low-priced new cars that are not their equal in prestige, Fleetwood luxury, and safety features. Every window of every Cadillac is safety plate glass. So if you want a car that is economical to drive and to operate, and a pride and pleasure to own, make it a point to spend 30 minutes at the wheel of a used Cadillac soon.
Welcome back to Martinsville Speedway here on Speed Vision. Trouble on pit road for Tim DeRoyne. Crew working on the right-hand side of that car. Putting a new right front tire, left rear tire going on as well. And as you mentioned, Derek, not quick pit stops, generally speaking.
No, not very fast at all. You can tell that these aren't Winston Cup-style pit stops where they do them in 15 seconds. A lot of these crews are volunteers, or they're pretty much asked if they can help out for the day of the race. And Tim DeRoyne right now seeing some attention to the left rear of the car. They're reaching inside the car. They've got the tire off. They could be making a slight spring adjustment on that number 20.
And we'll see what happens when DeRoyne refires that race car and gets back out into line as the field lines up again behind the safety car. We've got a host of cautions here at Martinsville. You see the very full parking lot here, of course, getting ready for Winston Cup action on Sunday here at Martinsville Speedway. Traditional fall race day, one of those weekends that all race fans throughout the Southeast and many in the Northeast really point to. The opportunity to see the Featherlite Modifieds in action along with the Winston Cup cars on the same racetrack. Doesn't come along very often. There you see Perth Amboy, New Jersey's Jamie Tomeno, and there's Eddie Flemke Jr. in the 79, the son of a modified legend, a guy, Ed Flemke Sr. When I was young up in the Northeast, Derek, I can remember that he was an innovator. Eddie Sr. made a lot of the parts for these race cars. He designed a lot of things that are still in use today on these modifieds.
Yeah, Eddie Flemke Sr., Steady Eddie as they also called him, and the apple didn't fall too far from the tree because Eddie Flemke is one half of Raceworks Chassis, who builds probably half of the race cars out here.
Field coming down the back straightaway, getting set for another restart here at Martinsville. Pretty common when the modifieds come to Martinsville that we do have a lot of caution periods.
Well, these drivers are being pretty aggressive today, but they want to put on the best performances they can. Like I said before, a lot of the Winston Cup and Busch Series teams are here, and these drivers want to advance in their racing career. They want to move up into the higher ranks of possibly Busch and Winston Cup.
Whoa, we got contact on the backstretch. Look at that. Bob Palvereri in the 71 got into the back end of Tony Hirschman's machine. There's Tony Ferrari getting nudged. And serious contact. Bordermeyer in the 04. He ran right up under the back end of the 11 car, and he's in trouble. Green flag is back out. John Fortin in the 84, your restart leader, but the caution will wave immediately because we've got a couple of cars. Nevin George in the 11, the 04 of Bordermeyer. They've tangled, and Bordermeyer's car with heavy damage to the left front corner there.
Yeah, heavy damage. He's got the left front pushed all the way back. He's stuck underneath the 11 of Nevin George. Nevin George, look at him, not happy, saying, "What are you doing?"
Well, there was some problem up in the front of the line. It was a chain reaction, kind of like what you'd see on the expressway during rush hour. You could see cars slowing down, and some of the guys further back just didn't realize it.
Kind of like the domino effect. Everybody just stacked up behind him.
Well, Evan George, none too happy, peels the gloves off, throws them in the seat. Off come the glasses. Helmets next after giving a piece of his mind there to Bordermeyer in the 04. Young Evan George says, well, that's it. I'm done for the day. So the cleanup trucks will have to come back up onto the speedway. Here's Bordermeyer. From 17th starting spot. He's had a good day here so far, and it all comes a cropper for him here in the second half of this race.
Yeah, he was having a good day, led just a little while. He had probably his best run of the season earlier this year at Riverhead, where he managed to finish third, but the crew knows that they've got a lot of work to do on the front end of that ASI-sponsored 04.
There were several cars that got together on the backstretch. Robbie Summers was in the middle of that. John Blewett was in the middle of it. The great veteran Bob Palvereri, if you remember Riverside Park up in Massachusetts, Bob was one of the standouts, many-time champion there. Just came out of retirement this year.
The old 7-Eleven remember?
That's right. Absolutely. I saw the 71 car number. I thought, well, NASCAR wouldn't let him run a 3-digit number, obviously.
Well, actually, if you go in the pit area and you walk up to the car, if you look close enough, there's the little tiny 2-inch number 1 to make it a 711.
That's the number that Paul Verreri made famous so many years ago. He's well in his 60s now. It's good to see him back in action, and unfortunate that he was caught up in the middle of that. Bordermeyer's crew, meantime, going to work on the 04 left front corner. They're going to try to put the front end back together and get their young driver back in competition. We'll be back for the restart here at Martinsville.
Kids don't come with instructions on keeping them drug-free. But if they did, this is what they'd say. Call to find out what else you can do.
This is my brother Omar. Well, there was a hole in his tummy. A bullet hit him. I saw red grass. The gun was in the garage. I didn't mean to shoot Daddy's gun. I didn't mean to shoot Daddy's gun.
Mantis tiller cultivator is making gardening easier for everyone. The Mantis weighs just 20 pounds, so it's easy to carry and operate. Yet the unique patented tines and powerful 2-cycle engine lets you cut through hard soils and dig down to 10 inches deep. Mantis is so easy to handle that weeding and cultivating, even in tight places, is a snap. And with the optional Mantis attachments, you can dig furrows, trim hedges, aerate and dethatch your lawn, cut professional-looking borders, and remove weeds from cracks. Mantis's superior performance and rugged dependability is backed by a 2-year warranty and a lifetime warranty on the tines against breakage. So you get years of trouble-free service. The Mantis tiller is now available at factory direct prices. So call for your free information pack with details on our 1-year money-back guarantee.
For more information on the Mantis tiller, call 1-800-232-9055.
Back at Martinsville, the track crew has gotten quite a workout here today in the Advanced Auto Parts 200. Speedy dry having to be applied up on the backstretch there. All that contact. Obviously, some fluid got dumped out. Bordermeyer looked as though they might have almost knocked the oil cooler off that car. The damage was very close to it, and there is some fluid there that they're sopping up right now. Getting ready for the restart, and all this attrition has allowed the 17 car, Mike Uinitsko, to line up in second spot.
Yeah, Mike Uinitsko comes right back to the front of the field. Once again, the cream has risen to the top. And Mike Uinitsko, like I said before, he said the car was fast all day. He looked at Brad LaFontaine, who's his crew chief, and said, don't touch a thing on the car. 200
laps, just 100 miles here at Martinsville. Pretty much of a sprint race, and if Uinitsko can stay out of trouble, and remember, we have had a lot of caution flags so far here today, he's got to be considered a favorite for the victory, but the way all the beating and banging has started to take place here, it's hard to say whether he'll be able to stay clean.
Well, it looks like it's been one of those days for the Featherlite Modified Series cars. This has been a caution-flagged event. A lot of accidents out there. Everyone really wanting to do the best job as they can. They do know that the TV cameras are there. Maybe they're being a little over-aggressive. Maybe they're pushing and shoving just a little too much. But right now, it's been a little bit of a rough going.
I'm really impressed with the run of this John Fortin, the 84. First time I've had a chance to see him run at the front of the pack from Riverhead. Strong performance.
He actually started, interesting thing about John Fortin, he actually started racing in the figure 8 division at Riverhead Raceway on Long Island. He won the track championship there in that division. I mean, if you've ever seen a figure 8 race, I mean, it keeps you on the edge of your seat.
Well, he's a brave guy just to tackle that, much less to be a champion at it, certainly. So Fortin will lead him to green here in just a couple of moments. Uinitsko lines up right behind him in second, and it's Baldwin in the 7. We've got some of the other strong runners lined up right behind, so we should have an excellent final couple of dozen laps here today at Martinsville.
Yeah, that looks like Jamie Tomeno in the number 99, the Perth Amboy Spring-sponsored car, and right behind him, the Stop and Shop, number 79 of Eddie Flemke.
Crowd on hand here at Martinsville as we continue to circulate under caution. Once these cars come together and fluid gets on the racetrack, it does take a few moments for the track crew to get out there, put the Speedy Dry down, sweep it in, let it do its work, and then clean it back up so that it's safe to go racing on. So that's why we're held up here at Martinsville.
Well, they also want to make sure they get as much of that moisture picked up as possible. They do lay down the Speedy Dry. They'll sweep it back up, probably put a little bit more down, too, because they want to make the race conditions as safe as possible. I mean, these are big 15-inch wide steamroller tires. If you get into the oil with a piece of rubber that big, you're not going to get much adhesion.
And where that all happened, of course, was right up in the groove on the high side of the racetrack. There's Tomeno in the orange number 99. Lemke there in the 79 car. Drivers very much in contention for victory today here at Martinsville. The 19th of 20 races that make up the Featherlite Modified Series here in 2001. Looking at Bo Gunning's car. Gunning started on the outside pole here today. He was quick early on. There's Robbie Summers in the V4, Bob Garbarino's car, the Mystic Missile, one of the famous modified team combinations. And there's Blue at the third in the 77. He led for a while earlier. He'll restart directly in front of Tony Hirschman in the 48. Reggie Ruggiero there in the Black Deuce. 71 car next in line. That's Paul Verrari. We talked about him a moment ago. Ferrani and the rest of the field. And there's Pastriak in the 5. Now, he lost some time. And Stefanik in the 21. I'm so surprised that Mike Stefanik hasn't been in contention here.
Yeah, that's one driver we haven't heard too much from today. That's Mike Stefanik. He had to pit twice under green. The first time he had to come in was because of loose lug nuts. The left rear loosened up on the car, had to pit under green, went back out onto the track, ran about 5 or 6 laps. The car didn't feel right to him. It turns out it was actually a wheel that was the culprit. They had to pull the left rear wheel off the car because he elongated the lug holes.
So an uncharacteristically long afternoon for the driver who's won multiple championships on the Modified Tour and on the NASCAR Busch North Series. A couple of years ago, we thought he had the most impressive season of anybody in NASCAR when he doubled up, won the Modified Tour and the Busch North Crown in the same season, not once, but twice. We'll see what Stefanik can do when we come back here at Martinsville.
Want to know what's hot in classic cars for 2002? Tune in to the Barrett-Jackson Classic Car Auction, presented by Chrysler Jeep Dodge.
This is the real thing,
where you're sure to find something for everyone. From the bold and beautiful to the ultimate in style and craftsmanship.
$250,000, $250,000 you want it.
The Barrett-Jackson Classic Car Auction, beginning January 18th.
Introducing the best America Online ever. New version 7.0. It's better, faster, and easier.
It's like a click and you're connected.
7.0 is fast.
It's got all the new features. It's just so easy.
All new AOL version 7.0.
Welcome.
It's everything you love about America Online.
You've got mail.
Now with cool new features and places to go.
I'm falling in love with the new features. 7.0 is the best.
Don't be a chicken, it's easy.
America Online, new version 7.0. So easy to use, no wonder it's #1. Call 1-800-4ONLINE.
TR7 is here, and sports cars will never be the same again. When you slip into the cockpit, the seats just kind of wrap themselves around you. And when you take to the road, it's more like flying than driving. The Wedge design gives you incredible control. It holds the road like it had hands, and it goes like a bullet. TR7, the Wedge from Triumph. Catch one soon at your British Leyland dealers.
Speed Station is now the Speed Channel. Speed Channel. No one gets you closer.
Looking for a restart here at Martinsville Speedway. Here on Speed Vision, the Advanced Auto Parts 200, the NASCAR Featherlite Modified Series. John Fortin in the 84, the restart leader. Pole sitter Mike Ioannidis, his 5th NASCAR Pole Award of the season on the Modified Series Tour. He lines up in 2nd spot ahead of Tom Baldwin. Jamie Tomeno has been very patient today in the 99 car. He'll line up in 4th. Safety car is in. Green flag is in the air. We're back underway.
Back underway, and John Fortin really put some daylight between himself and Mike Ioannidis on that restart as they all went down into turn number 1. Fortin looking very, very impressive in the Abbott's Heart Cove, number 84.
Off to a really good start off the drop of the green, able to hold Ioannidis back at this point, but Ioannidis all over the back bumper of that machine right now. Tomeno getting pressure meantime for 4th spot. Here's Flemke to the outside in the white 79 car. Lemke wants the spot, and I think he's going to get him. Right behind him, Rick Fuller in the blue number 8, the Sheba Racing Machine.
A lot of guys are now looking to go upstairs. You see Rick Fuller up on the top side of the speedway. They weren't really using the high side that much early on in the race. Had to wait till the lap started ticking away to finally lay some rubber down up there to get a little adhesion on the top line of the track.
Jerry Marquis goes around the 99 as well, so Marquis picks up another spot as he tries to get back into contention here. Mano will tuck in behind the 34.
And the last time that the modifieds raced, Ted Christopher won the fall final at the Stafford Motor Speedway. The race prior to that, the winner was Jerry Marquis in the longest race of the season. That's the 300 at Thompson Speedway.
Marquis certainly a very talented Northeastern driver. Ioannidze lays the chrome horn on Fortin, see if he can move him out of the way going down into turn 3. Couldn't quite get it done. Fortin will get back on the gas, and he'll make Ioannidze drive around him, but the 17 car is hooked up. And look at Ioannidze, right to the high side. Meantime, Christopher trying to get around the 99, and here comes Ioannidze heading back to the point. He takes the lead back.
It's those fresher tires that Mike Ioannidze has. John Fortin stayed out to gain the track position, but he doesn't have the rubber that Mike Ioannidze has got. Ioannidze just put it in there up on the high side of turn number 1 and drove around the outside of John Fortin.
Saw Christopher in the ATC Dodge, the 25, up a spot as well. A little further back, John Blewett in the 77 car, trying to race his way back into contention. There's Bo Gunning in the 09. And here is Flemke with Fuller right behind him. Baldwin in the 7, the 34 of Marquis. 4 cars, 4 veteran drivers dueling for position here, going for 3rd through 6th position.
All of the drivers mixing it up. Now they fall into single file. Rick Fuller, like it says, started 10th. He's chasing Eddie Flemke in that pink and white number 79. That's the Roger Hill-owned entry. As they all now come back to the stripe, Flemke still leads this line as they go into turn number 1.
Flemke's sitting 3rd now. Fuller is 4th. Marquis sits 5th in the 34. Right behind this group of 3 machines, you've got more drivers who want to get to the front here in the late going at Martinsville. No change among that group of drivers. Your leader continues to be Ioannidze. Fortin in the 84 with a good run going in second spot. Now Fortin and Ioannidze are not on the same cycle in terms of tires, and I wonder if Fortin's got enough good rubber left on that car to stay up there.
It looks like that John Fortin is starting to fade back a little bit. Mike Ioannidze is starting to put some daylight between he and the number 84, and 3rd, 4th, and 5th are all catching that light blue number 84, but Fortin's put on a yeoman effort today.
He has done a great job. Very impressive here at Martinsville. Down the back straightaway, Tomeno trying to hold off Tommy Cravino, and what we used to think of as the Lenny Bowler number 3, but Lenny passed away several months ago. The car's still in competition, though. Lenny's son, Mike, fields the 34 car that looks almost identical to the car that Jerry Marquis is driving.
Yeah, this year we did lose. The modified suffered some loss this year. We did lose Len Bowler, the owner of the number 3, also Sonny Richards and Smiley Waterman and Donna Parks. We are sad to see them go. Earlier this year, they had a moment of silence at Nazareth Speedway for Len Bowler, and every driver, every crew, every car owner stood right up on the pit road just for Len Bowler. The place we could have heard a pin drop, so Len Bowler's reputation definitely preceded him.
One of the building blocks of the NASCAR Featherlite Modified Series for 30-some years, the great car owner Lenny Bowler, who passed from the scene this year. But the car's still in competition. It's good to see Cravino doing a good job in that 3 car today. Down the back straightaway they come. Your leader is still Ioannidze. Flemke 3rd there in the white 79. A little further back, there's Gunning in the 09. There's the 3 with Cravino. Tomeno on the inside of the 99, kind of holding up this group of cars.
A lot of action happening right here. Everybody's really starting to mix it up. Jamie Tomeno is getting a knock on the back door. Look at Tommy Cravino up to the top side. He's trying to hold up both lines as Cravino pushes on him as they come off of turn 2.
Tomeno, meantime, trying to hold this group at bay. Oh, and there's contact. Ruggiero goes around. Summers goes around. Everybody else on the brakes. Another car has to spin to a stop, and we should get a caution. Summers stopping the V4. Bob Garbarino's car pointing at the bottom wall here at Martinsville. He gets it refired, but that'll be enough to bring out yet another caution.
It's just a case of pure hard racing. Reggie Ruggiero and Rob Summers dove down into turn number 3. Ruggiero made contact with the number 4 of Rob Summers. That put himself and Robbie Summers around. But just at the end of that crash, Tony Hirschman played a leapfrog and went right over the front end of Robbie Summers. I'm surprised there isn't any more damage on the front end of that car.
Well, we'll take a look and see next time by. Several of these cars sporting bent bumpers and so forth after 130-plus laps here at Martinsville. Very hot competition here today.
Look at all the rubber all over the cars. See these big wide tires? They throw out just chunks and chunks of hot rubber.
Hoosier tires, of course, the tires of choice in the Featherlite Modified Series for many of these teams. As we watch the field realign, safety car is back out.
That's the only other Dodge in the field, too.
Yeah.
Ted Christopher is the only, he and Ted Christopher have the only Dodges in the entire field.
So Summers will rejoin the field. He'll have to start from the back, though, after bringing out that caution. So field realigning, safety car will come back out. We'll be set for a restart at Martinsville when we continue.
There's a special music in the air when two people are in love.
You smile and it's okay. You take my breath.
Now, TV Music for You presents Cherish the Love, a new collection of heart-touching favorites.
Longer than there have been fishes in the ocean. Baby, I'ma want you. Baby, I'ma need you. We'll never have to say goodbye again. When you think I've loved you, all I can.
Cherish the Love, 30 timeless original hits by the artists who made them famous.
Don't give up on us, baby. Sarah, smile. I need you. Oh, my shining star. Come on and lead me on. And I'm falling. Cherish the love we had. We should
Cherish the Love on 2 CDs or 2 cassettes. This collection is not sold in stores, so order now. Call this toll-free number now to order Cherish the Love. 2 CDs, $26.99, 2 cassettes, $21.99, plus shipping and handling. Have your credit card ready and call now.
With NASCAR on Speed Vision, you don't just get inside of their cars, you get inside their heads. Lock on a NASCAR on Speed Vision, and you won't get left behind. Go under the hood with expert engineers, mechanics, and craftsmen on NASCAR Tech, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Welcome back here on Speed Vision. We're at Martinsville Speedway, the Advanced Auto Parts 200. I'm Rick Benjamin, Derek Fernasiglio alongside. And we are under caution yet again here for a skirmish in turns 3 and 4. And pit road being shown as open right now, so we'll see if anyone will decide to come down pit road here. We're pretty late in the going, Derek, about 60, 70 laps to go today. And we'll see if any of these teams decide they need one more stop to put a fresh tire or two on. Looks like the 34, Marquis and Christopher, may take advantage of this caution.
Yeah, Ted Christopher is definitely one of those drivers who has the driving style of being able to pit with a few laps to go and still being able to cut through the field like a hot knife through butter. 34, Jerry Marquis also in. He's going to see some attention from Mike Bowler's crew. Mike Bowler used to be the driver on that number 34. Last year, he won the Featherlite Modified Series Rookie of the Year championship. Marquis was without a ride this year after the number 44 team disbanded, and then they hooked up, and from then on, they just started winning races, running consistently, and the chemistry is just mixed.
Well, when you have a chance to put a driver like Jerry Marquis in your race car, that would be very hard to turn down, even if you want to drive yourself. Here's Christopher's crew going to work. Right side of the 25 car, the Les Care Kitchens machine. They'll put a couple of tires on there. Christopher is great on fresh rubber coming from the back, as you mentioned.
He's such an awesome talent. Ted Christopher is just unbelievable behind the wheel of a race car. Now they're going to go for 3 tires, actually. Wow. They're going to pull a 3-tire pit stop. You don't really use the left front too much here at the track. No. It's tires kind of just riding along there. You're really leaning on the right side tires and the left rear tire.
Got to look there at the 34 team, Mike Bowler's bunch, putting tires on for Jerry Marquis as well. They'll rejoin at the back of the pack now. Laps winding down at Martinsville. Mike Uinitsko, your restart pole sitter. Fortin is second in line. Eddie Flemke goes third, and we're back underway.
Flemke looks like he may have missed the shift on that restart.
Wow.
He bumped into Fortin as they came off turn number 4. That may have caused him to miss the shift. He loses like 2 spots.
Tom Baldwin gets by, and Rick Fuller in the 8 car got by as well. And here's Fuller now going for second. Takes a look under Fortin. Heading down into turn 3, but doesn't quite have enough. Coming out of the second corner to make the move. Top 4 start to pull away. Flemke settles back into 5th. Still Ioannidze in the 17 out in front.
If you look at Rick Fuller, watch when he enters the corner. It's an in-high, off-low line. He's trying to enter the corner a little high to pitch the car in the apex of the corner to try to drive underneath the number 84 of John Fortin. See, he looks to the low side right there, and now he's going to duck low as he goes into turn number 1, but I think Fortin, yep, he's going to close the door.
Fortin's just a little bit quicker getting down into the corners. He's got a little more at the end of the straightaway. Now, here comes Fuller again for second spot. He knows here at Martinsville that's one of the best ways to pass that there is. It's you have to try a different line here if you're going to get around somebody.
And that was a textbook pass right there. He had the line, drove the car right down into turn number 3 real hard, and you can see him right there starting to pull away from John Fortin, who pretty much probably has no tires left.
Fortin, remember, pitted pretty early here and got his set of fresh tires. Bo Gunning, meantime, doing battle with L.W. Miller, and Bob Pulverari a little deeper in the field for position.
Pulverari skates the car off of turn number 4 just a little bit late on the throttle, a little bit early. And like we said, coming off those concrete turns, you know, it kind of makes the car stick to the track real differently than if you were on asphalt.
Much slicker generally on the concrete, although your tires can get good grip down there if you're set up correct.
And there's Mike Stefanik, driver we were talking about earlier in the day. He had a chance to lock up the championship coming into this race, but so far he's had to pit twice under green, and he hasn't really been a factor all day.
He has not been in contention here at all this afternoon. Charlie Pasteryak there in the blue number 5, tucked in behind L.W. Miller. Pasteryak, you'll recall, spun. Oh, and we've got another spinner. Another car goes around. Pulverari, I believe, has gone around up in turn 3 and 4.
All by himself, too.
From 14th starting spot. He was high up on the racetrack, and I think he just got to a point where the car wouldn't grip at all. And so Pulverari spins, gets back on the gas in the familiar 71. We talked about how his number for many, many years is 711, and he's got a little 1 tucked in there to, if you get up close, you can see that. Yellow flag waves again here at Martinsville Speedway. We'll take a quick timeout. Be right back.
Can you buy a building that pays for itself? You can if it's a self-storage building from Steel Building Depot. Self-storage is one of the fastest-growing businesses in America today. And Steel Building Depot has self-storage buildings that can put you in the self-storage business in as little as 60 days. There are dozens of sizes and styles to choose from, and 100% financing is available. Start your own self-storage business and be your own boss, all with a self-storage building from Steel Building Depot. Call Steel Building Depot, America's #1 steel building provider.
See what's new in cars for 2002 on Auto Week. Get up-to-date consumer reports, futuristic concept cars, and an inside look at the world's best auto shows on Speed Vision. That's Auto Week every Friday night at 7 Eastern.
Kids, looking for something new and exciting?
It's really cool.
Introducing the Power Pumper 2000. Different than a big wheel and more fun than a bicycle, the Power Pumper 2000 moves when you push with your feet and pull with your hands at the same time.
I really like it.
Parents love it because it's fun and it provides some good old-fashioned exercise.
I like the idea that he's burning calories, getting some exercise there.
With 2 U.S. patents, the Power Pumper 2000 has been called the safest ride-on toy in the world. And the most fun.
I'd ride it up and down the street about 1 billion times.
Just call the phone number at the bottom of the screen to receive your Power Pumper 2000.
I saw the Power Pumper, which works legs and arms, and it's just fun.
To order your Power Pumper 2000, call the phone number at the bottom of your screen.
We're back at Martinsville Speedway here on Speed Vision. Coverage of the Advanced Auto Parts 200, the NASCAR Featherlite Modified Series. With Derek Pernissiglio, I'm Rick Benjamin, lining up for another restart after our 10th yellow flag of the afternoon. There's Fortin, the young rookie contender from Long Island. Right behind him, the great veteran from Long Island, Tom Baldwin Sr. Ed Lemke from Connecticut, the 79 car, lining up next, 5th in the restart order. There's John Blewett III, who led earlier, took the lead away from Ioannidze on the 55th lap today. He's been stuck at the back, Derek. He's trying to make his way back to the front here as the laps wind down.
John Blewett III, also knowing that he has to run a little bit conservative. He is up there in the points. He sits 3rd in the points right now. He's trying to get as many good runs in to collect those valuable points to be in contention for the championship next week, because with Mike Stefanik's rough run today, it looks like it's really going to make it a real tight race coming into Thompson next week.
He certainly got a shot at the title here in the last couple of races of the 2001 season. One of the most prestigious championships NASCAR awards, the NASCAR Featherlite Modified Series crown, is Derek mentioned earlier, this is NASCAR's only open-wheel division of racing, one of the regional touring series that do battle around the country all year long. And we're pleased to bring this one to you here on Speed Vision. Safety car with the lights out should be ready to restart this time by. But Iwanitsko in that 17 car, he has been just tough to solve. Nobody, except for Blewett briefly, has really had much for him today.
They rolled that car off the trailer, and it has been perfect all day long. Mike Iwanitsko has just bided his time, found the cars that he needs to get past, picked them off one by one, and he's worked his way back up to leading the race.
The Universal Welding Chevrolet has been stout here all afternoon, and he is off quickly and still your leader. Now here's Blewett trying to get to the inside of Flemke. Contact, Blewett up over the curbing. That is a tough place to be. You don't want to do that if you can avoid it. You can bend up the race car pretty easily there. Blewett had to get out of the gas, and that gives Flemke the opportunity to open up a car length as they battle for fourth spot.
And these cars ride very low to the ground. They have a low ride height to them, and that curbing, when they hit it, really screws up it upsets the chassis a lot. And you watch Blewett as he came off the corner, he was really sawing on that wheel, really fighting the car. He nudges Eddie Flemke going down into turn number 1.
Flemke may have closed the door on him just a little bit in that skirmish. Jamie Tomeno back there. Good run for Tomeno today. Solidly in the top 10 much of the afternoon. Right behind him, Cravino in that blue number 3, and then Bo Gunning, the outside pole sitter, in the white and orange 09 car. Here comes Blewett again. He's going to make a move here on Flemke.
Once again, John Blewett goes down to the inside. He makes it work this time, and then look at Flemke. Gives him another shot back, saying, I didn't like when you hit me in the bumper.
But Blewett cleanly by to take the spot away, and now he'll set his sights on Tom Baldwin there in the black number 7.
Rick, we've seen a lot of bumper tag going on out there today. Everyone's knocking on the back door, letting each other know, here I am.
Not too much side-by-side racing. I'm a little surprised at that here at Martinsville. That's one of the hallmarks of modified racing at this racetrack, has been for a long time. But there's been a lot of nose-to-tail action. It's been a very entertaining run here this afternoon.
Now, these drivers also know that they've had 10 cautions so far. After about the 6th or 7th caution, they've got to be thinking to themselves, it's time for me to calm down, get into a rhythm, and start to just run conservatively.
And it's hard to get in a rhythm when you're starting and stopping all the time, when sometimes we've had only one lap or less than that of green flag action. Very hard to find your rhythm and your pacing when you're behind the wheel. Good battling side-by-side here. Tomeno working around one of the lap cars. Right behind him, the 3 machine of Cravino and Gunning. They will all sift by that red race car that's down at the bottom of the speedway there.
L.W. Miller also putting a lap on Jake Morose. Morose down to the inside, another independent racer like we mentioned. There's Bo Gunning in the 09. That's the T.S. Hauler-sponsored 09. He's got Tommy Cravino right in front of him, and he's done very well so far today. He started 18th. He's up to the 6th spot, so Tommy Cravino really bringing the car to the front.
Cravino trying to hang on and keep Bo Gunning in his mirrors. Tony Hirschman with problems in the 48 car, and that's not the first time today he's had difficulty. You can see the bent rear bumper on that car. Meantime, Iwanitsko, your pole sitter, he has waved goodbye, it appears. John Fortin trying to hold off the pack, running in 2nd spot. There's Tomeno working in front of Cravino and Gunning as they battle for position.
And that's exactly what Iwanitsko wants to see in his rear view mirror. John Fortin is holding up that line of cars, and that's giving him the break that he needs to pull away from the rest of the field.
As the laps wind down here at Martinsville, Gunning solidly in the top 10, got in trouble in that first lap spin. Teddy Christopher tried to get to the inside of Gunning, going down into turn 3 right off the drop of the green. There was contact. Christopher spun, brought out the first yellow of the day. He had to pit and then go to the back of the field. Gunning was able to continue, and he's had to battle back. My guess is that 09 car isn't handling quite the way Gunning would like it, but he's done a good job of hanging on. Speaking of terrible Ted, here he comes again.
Once again, Ted Christopher coming from the back of the pack, and now we've got some traffic in front of him. Tom Baldwin up on the top side of the track. Jamie Tomeno holding up this line. Bo Gunning now down to the inside of Tom Baldwin. But look, Rick Fuller has caught Mike Iwanitsko.
Fuller in 2nd spot. Iwanitsko still leading, but Fuller's gotten right there in the Sheba Racing Machine, the 8 car.
Yeah, Rick Fuller finished 4th here last year, so he is no stranger to this track. He's only got 1 win this year. That came at Thompson Speedway. But he is a good modified driver. He's a stout modified driver, and he won the 1993 championship driving for Kurt Chase, the 77 team.
Further back, some of the battles for position in the top 10. There you see Cravino in the blue 3. Contact, 1 car way up high on the racetrack. And that's L.W. Miller again, I think, in trouble there. But he's had a tough afternoon.
He's been a rubber ball all day. He's just been bouncing off everybody. Tough run for the Kunkletown, Pennsylvania driver.
Timmy DeRoyne back in the fray in the 20 car. He had spun and gotten into the wall earlier, and he's pitted a couple of times. Tomeno trying to hold off Crivino as they battle for position.
You know, the good thing, too, is that they're racing in the October afternoon. Brakes are always a factor here at Martinsville Speedway, and we haven't seen anyone with glowing brake rotors just yet.
These cars put out a tremendous amount of horsepower, 650 horsepower, nearly as much as a Winston Cup car. And they're 800 pounds lighter, and they run on much wider tires.
By the grace of God and 650 horsepower, these are the ground pounders, the Featherlite Modified Tour. You ain't going to see anything better than this.
Tomeno still holding out of that position. He's still got Crivino in the blue 3 behind him there. Bo Gunning is next in line. Everybody's starting to fight the race car just a little. You can see in the corners now as we get down close to the end here at Martinsville. The cars want to push. The tires are getting worn, and the cars want to walk up the racetrack a little bit in the corner.
Yeah, right about now, everyone knows that the tires are gone on the car. The gas is probably almost all burned off. Right now, it comes down to driver ability. Whoever is got the best driving ability is really going to come out on top. Crivino's doing a real good job so far, but Tomeno continues to hold him off. But that's the mark of a veteran. I mean, Jamie Tomeno's the 1990 Modified champion. Tommy Crivino hasn't had as many seasons on the Modified Tour as Tomeno has, so he's really showing his experience.
Tomeno in that orange 99 right behind Fortin. They run back and forth in 5th spot. Crivino from 18th in the blue 3. He is 6th. Baldwin, Jerry Marquis in the 34, and Teddy Christopher back to the top 10 after 2 stops for tires.
Teddy Christopher always can keep you excited at the racetrack.
I thought Christopher actually, with the fresh tires, I thought he was gambling, obviously, to see if he could improve the car, and I thought he'd be up into contention here, but he has not been able to get much further than about 10th spot.
You know, it's really looked like that for everyone. Everyone has pretty much swapped maybe 1 or 2 positions, but we haven't seen real big advancements as far as positions go, with the exception of Mike Ioannidze.
Christopher now on the gas, trying to move around Baldwin. Looks like he'll be able to get that job done. He's patient here, and that's a good thing. Teddy not known for his patience in a lot of cases.
And what a combination, Ted Christopher and Tom Baldwin. Yeah. I mean, you got two great drivers and 2 great attitudes that go along with it. Both of those guys are just hard as nails.
Yeah, open gasoline and a lighter is usually what you'd see in those 2 in a combination. And no explosions so far, but we'll keep an eye on it for you.
So far. Good run for Jerry Marquis in the number 34. He's going to go up to the top side of the 09 of Bo Gunning. But we go back to your leaders, and now it looks like a 2-car battle at the front.
Oh, yeah, Fuller still there in the 8. He is dogging the tracks of Mike Ioannidze. Ioannidze's been able to hold off Ricky Fuller. Fuller just doesn't quite have enough to get up alongside and challenge Ioannidze as we get late in the going here.
Well, if you watch, Rick Fuller is real good getting into the corners. He can really dive the car down into the bottom line as it gets into the turns. Mike Ioannidze, if you watch him from the apex out, the car just really hooks up. Right about there, you can see him pull away as he comes off the 4th corner. They go around the lap traffic of the Newcomb Spring sponsor, number 28 of Jamie Askelaw. Rick Fuller started 10th, but he currently runs 2nd.
Leader continues to be Ioannidze in that red 17 car. If he can win here today, he'll be looking for his 3rd victory of the season and a major advancement in points, trying to get up into the top 10. He's had some good runs this year, a couple of victories as we mentioned, but it has not been as strong a campaign for the young veteran from Long Island as he would have liked. Fuller, same situation pretty much. He's with the team he's been with for a long time, that 8 bunch. They've been together for a number of years. They've been competitive, certainly, here today.
And that is the car that was pretty much the springboard to Steve Park's Winston Cup career. Actually, Jeff Fuller is another driver who drove that car, had a lot of success. They all moved into the upper echelons of NASCAR racing, but that is probably one of the most well-known cars and teams in the Featherlite Modified Series.
And Rick Fuller's had his shot at the NASCAR Busch Series a couple of times as well. I've seen him run a few races, test several times, but he's just never quite found the right situation, I think, to make that move on a permanent basis.
And it's a tough break because there is so much talent in this division. We've had so many drivers that have come out of the Modifieds that have had success in the Winston Cup Series. Probably one of the big reasons is the high horsepower that they get to wrestle with.
Watching John Fortin in that light blue number 84. He's done a great job wrestling that race car. And you know the tires are probably pretty much gone on that machine at this point. So he's really hanging on nicely. Here's Marquis trying to get by Tomeno on the high side. Marquis in the blue 34. Tomeno in the orange 99 down low, and Marquis going to take the spot.
Look at Marquis. He's all arms and elbows. He's really working the top side of the speedway, but he's really playing it smart. He didn't just dive in there and try to take the whole position from Jamie Tomeno in one fell swoop. He worked on him for a little bit. He stayed up on the outside, got a went past him a little bit further, and now he's working on the number 84 of John Fortin.
And I think that Marquis may be able to do this without a lot of problem. You know that Fortin does not have much grip left in those tires. Marquis has much fresher rubber, and he will just sail by on the high side.
Good move for Jerry Marquis. Very talented driver. He started 9th. Another driver, like we said before, he was bouncing around playing musical rides this year. He drove for Mario Fiore, Greg Narducci, Ed Close, Pete Beal, and Mike Bowler before he found a home with that 34 team.
It has been a good combination, certainly, and Marquis giving that team their money's worth here at Martinsville today. Closing in on the checkered flag at Martinsville. We'll be back.
How do you go from this to this in just 1 hour? With this, meet Edgemaster, the self-guided rolling edger. With Edgemaster, anyone can paint a razor-sharp edge around doors, windows, light switches, smoke detectors effortlessly. Look, when you paint, here's where the time goes. Edging. Edging is tedious, and the edges are everywhere. But Edgemaster has a built-in beveled edge that self-guides as you paint, so you can quickly, easily, effortlessly master every single edge. Simply load the roller, flip the Edgemaster guide in place, and watch how Edgemaster guides itself and paints along door and window moldings, thermostats, walls, and ceilings without getting so much as a drop of paint where it shouldn't be. With the Edgemaster, all the edging is fast and easy. Look again. It works on any edge. But how? Behind the scenes, Edgemaster is working for you. Its beveled guide plate rides along the edge you don't want to paint, so you can easily cut in the surface you do want to paint. Edgemaster works on any surface, at any angle, in any position, on every edge with any paint. With the Edgemaster, you can paint in no time, with no tape and no trouble. In fact, with Edgemaster, we guarantee you can paint any room in 1 hour or we'll buy it back. Through this special television offer, we'll send you the Edgemaster, 2 Edgemaster rollers, painting guide, and tray for only $19.99. As a special bonus, call the 800 number right now, and we'll triple the number of rollers and send you 4 more. A $20 value free, so you can paint as much as you want. You'll get the entire Edgemaster painting system and 6 rollers of $40 value, along with our buy-it-back guarantee, all for the low price of just $19.99. Here's how to order.
To order Edgemaster for only $19.99 plus $5.95 shipping and handling, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-528-2882. That's 1-800-528-2882. Or send a check or money order to the address on your screen. So call 1-800-528-2882 and order today.
Closing in on the finish of the Advanced Auto Parts 200 here at Martinsville on Speed Vision. I'm Rick Benjamin with Derek Bernasiglio, the NASCAR Featherlite Modified Series. Good battling here in the top 10. Jamie Tomeno in the red 99 car. The 3 of Tommy Crivino, the 09 of Bo Gunning, all battling for position, all right behind John Fortin in the 84 machine.
2 wide, 2 rows back. The number 3 of Tommy Crivino put it up to the top side of Jamie Tomeno. Now he takes the spot away. Here comes Ted Christopher in the Space Fitters, number 25, working the top line of the Speedway.
Terrible Teddy started up front here, had trouble early. He's pitted twice for tires, one more than many of the other contenders, and has battled back nicely. All of this action behind the top 2 cars, Mike Iwanitzko and Rick Fuller in the 8. They're battling for the lead a little further up on the racetrack. Here's Tommy Baldwin in the 7, trying to hang on to a spot in the top 10. Fortin now leading this parade as they lap by that machine of Jake Marash one more time.
And right now, Fortin's looking in his mirror, and he's thinking to himself, here they come.
Yeah.
You know, here comes Ted Christopher. Here comes Tommy Crivino. He knows that he doesn't have the tires that these drivers have. Fortin moves to the top side of the Speedway. I don't think he really gave the position up, but he kind of does know that he doesn't have the car under him that the 3 and the 25 do.
So Crivino gets by. Christopher moves by as well. They gain ground.
Wiggle a little bit. You see that wiggle from Ted Christopher?
Definitely.
Able to keep the car under control. That's just the incredible car control that Ted Christopher has.
Fortin in the 84 car giving up ground here late in the going. Tough break for him. Bo Gunning sitting right back there with him in Gunning's car after a couple of incidents today that he's been involved in, not working nearly as well as it would have had he been able to keep his nose clean at the start of the event today. So these drivers just trying to hang on and secure a spot in the top 10 when the checkered flag comes out in a couple of laps here.
Yeah, right now we're watching John Fortin being chased by Bo Gunning in the 09. Bo Gunning, a veteran of this sport. He's been around it for many, many years. But here's Mike Iwanitzko and Rick Fuller, just like we saw them many laps before, running 1 and 2.
Iwanitzko now coming up on some lap traffic, but Marash will stay low, I believe. He's been a good driver as far as getting out of the way, staying out of the way of the contenders. Fuller sails by as well, so Mirage moves over, no problem. And the leaders blast by to put another lap on the scoreboard. Fuller's been right there, about a car length behind Uinitsko for about 30 laps now since he got the second spot. Doesn't quite have enough to get up and run with Uinitsko and challenge him here as the laps wind down.
Well, watch him again as he gets into the corner. He makes up a lot of ground getting into the corner, but he loses it coming out. Mike Uinitsko has barely moved his hands on the steering wheel. The car has been very, very fast, very, very smooth. You know when the car's handling very well, when you can see the driver and he's not really moving his hands a lot on the steering.
Down the back straightaway, the cars and drivers running first and second. That's Uinitsko in the red car, the 17 from Long Island. Fuller from Massachusetts in car number 8, the blue machine.
If you see a few laps ago, Fuller had about 2 car lengths, he was about 2 car lengths behind Mike Uinitsko. He probably laid back a little bit, let the tires cool off or come down a few degrees, and then try to make another run at him. But Mike Uinitsko turned up the wick just a little bit more, and he saw Fuller coming, and he started driving the car that much harder.
Christopher, meantime, in the 25, trying to work his way around Tommy Cravino in the 3 car as they battle for position. Back around 5th and 6th. Down into the corner, Christopher driving the wheels off that 25. You can see he's trying a variety of different places on the racetrack to find room to get around Cravino, but he hasn't found the right combination yet.
He's searching. Ted Christopher's looking for a way to get past. He knocks on the back door of Tommy Cravino in the number 3. Ted Christopher says he's got the 3-tap rule. The first tap means he's there. The second tap means find a place you want to be. And the third one means, or I'll put you there.
Well, he's tried 2 of those taps, I think, so far here on Cravino. He'll come into the corner high down in turn 1. He'll get up right under the back bumper of the 3 car, but he can't move him out of the way.
Just as he got on the throttle, you saw the back end break a little bit loose. The car gets loose in the apex of the corner, but he's working the top line of the track. He doesn't really want to pitch the car down low. The tighter you make that axis, the more you make the car loose.
Down into the corner, still Cravino in the 3, Christopher in the 25, loose again there, and that seems to be, between 1 and 2 is where Christopher seems to be having his problems. The car wants to get away from him there just about every time by. Now, lap car in the way. Christopher gets to the inside of Cravino, but he can't close the deal. Mirage again blocking the path that Christopher wanted to take there.
He took a chance on that one. Ted Christopher was just looking. He took a chance. Maybe there was a possibility of a hole opening up, but that's just the mark of a good driver.
Still battling for position down into the 3rd corner. These drivers running 5th and 6th. Laps are winding down here at Martinsville. Uinitsko continues to lead ahead of Rick Fuller. They're the 2 leaders down the front straightaway.
See, every once in a while, Rick Fuller will get right up on the back bumper of Mike Uinitsko. Uinitsko will pull away. Fuller will work on him again. Uinitsko will just pull away. You'd think he may be toying with him.
Well, that's certainly one way you could look at it, but we're less than 10 laps to go now. I've got to think that if Fuller's got anything at all to show Uinitsko, he needs to play that card very quickly.
And Uinitsko, again, putting another 2 car lengths between himself and Rick Fuller in the number 8. It's been a good run so far for Rick Fuller. Out of the top 3, he started the deepest in the field. He started 10th, so he's really been working his way through the field. He did his routine pit stops. He did everything just like clockwork, just like Mike Uinitsko did. But Uinitsko's car is just about a 10th or 2/10 better.
About the only chance Fuller has now is if lap traffic might be in the way as Uinitsko works down the backstretch. He's got to get by L.W. Miller here in the 73 car.
And Miller knows he's a lap down, too, so he should really be moving over to give courtesy to the leaders that are coming past. More than likely, no, he's going to go to the outside of Jake Moroz in the number 9. And
here's Christopher, meantime, trying to get by Cravino. Cravino gets loose in the middle of 3 and 4. Christopher almost had him there. Instead, he had to get out of the gas.
Look at these 2 drivers going at it. This is a real good race. You can tell that Ted Christopher's really working on him. You can see him really muscling that car through the corners. Comes off the corner a little bit high. Hopefully he's trying to keep the RPMs up and keep his momentum going down the straightaway.
99 car, Jamie Tomeno. Now, he was running up in the top group of cars earlier, but he's fallen back off the pace, and Tomeno a lap down now to these machines. This is a battle for 5th. Here's Christopher. He's going to use Tomeno as a pick if he can to the inside of Cravino. Off the corner, the 3 car just a little quicker out of turn 2.
Good move by Ted Christopher, but Tommy Cravino drives it back into turn 3 up on the top side. Now they're
Here's
side by side.
Yeah, off
here we
the corner. Christopher trying to get the move done here.
Yeah.
See if he can close the deal going down into turn 1.
And this is a real good race right now. Folks, this is real exciting. These guys are going at it tooth and nail. Now Ted Christopher's got the spot. He's going to go around the outside of the 99 of Jamie Tomeno. Give him another position, Rick.
Christopher moves up into 5th. Tomeno was the guy who provided the opportunity for Christopher there, acting as a sort of a rolling chicane, as a pick down the basketball floor, you might think. And that allowed Christopher to make his move. Here's Fuller, meantime, still trying with just a handful of laps to go.
And if you notice, they just went past Mike Stefanik, who is your point leader, and that is really going to cost Stefanik in this points chase.
Couple of laps to go here at Martinsville. Fuller trying hard to see if he can find a way around Uinitsko and get the 8 car to victory lane, but Uinitsko, the pole sitter, he's been the dominant force. White flag in the air, less than a lap to go. Fuller gives Uinitsko a tap going into the turn. Lap traffic is ahead. Let's see what happens here.
They come up on a pack of cars racing for positions. Rick, 200 laps are just going to come down to these 2 corners.
Let's see what Fuller can do. Out of 4, Uinitsko's got too much for him. Mike Uinitsko will win here at Martinsville, the Advance Auto Parts 200.
It was Mike Uinitsko's day all day today. They rolled the car out of the trailer. The car was fast the second they hit the track. Told the crew, don't touch anything. Started on the pole and ends up winning the race today. A good run for Uinitsko.
Uinitsko's 4th career Modified Tour victory here at Martinsville Speedway. His 3rd win of the season. And this will help him tremendously in the points battle with just 1 race left. He's in the top 10 now. This gives him an opportunity to perhaps come close to the top 5 before the season concludes. So Mike Uinitsko with a great run. Ted Christopher gets the 5th spot in the 25 car. And a good run from the back of the pack twice for Terrible Ted. We'll come back to recap the action in a moment.
Ugly brush piles messing up your property? Call 1-800-615-7878 for your free catalog on the professional powered DR Chipper. Turn those brush piles into valuable mulch. Call 1-800-615-7878 today.
Cream famous. Strawberries and cream. Cream, la cream. La cream, yes, let's save us, cream, save us.
Catch the hottest machines USA ever produced. Ground pounders, beauty queens, and killers in disguise. Because nothing is more American than Muscle Car. American Muscle Car. Wednesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Now you can recapture all the memories for the first time on video. Presenting The Carol Burnett Show. Call now and get 2 original shows plus exclusive footage of the stars today. Once again, enjoy the classic sketches.
I saw it in the window and I just couldn't resist.
And characters you remember.
Don't press your buttons.
Hello?
Plus guest stars you won't forget. Call now to get your first video of The Carol Burnett Show, the Collector's Edition, for just $4.95. Use your credit card and get a bonus video free. Featuring entire episodes not seen in over 20 years.
I love to play my castanet.
At last, all the best memories can be yours to own on video.
To get the Carol Burnett Show, the Collector's Edition, for just $4.95 plus shipping and handling, plus your free bonus video, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-651-8200. Call now.
Back at Martinsville Speedway, the Advance Auto Parts 200 is complete here on Speed Vision. And a big victory for Long Island's Mike Uinitsko in the 17 car. Derek, the pole sitter, his 5th pole of the season, a dominant run today.
Real good run for Mike Uinitsko. I mean, when you have confidence is everything, and when they were that confident in practice and how fast that car was, they knew that they were really going to be a contender in the race, and it shows right here because he pulls right into victory lane. A good day for the number 17 team. Eddie Whalen, the car owner, has got to be happy. Brad LaFontaine, the crew chief, probably equally as ecstatic.
Well, they certainly knew they had a dominant machine here. The 3rd win of the season for Uinitsko. That equals the mark put together by Jerry Marquis and by Tony Hirschman, along with Mike Stefanik. So you've got 4 drivers with 3 wins each. It has been a season of great competition in the NASCAR Featherlite Modified Series, and Uinitsko's team has been as strong as anybody just about all year.
You know, when he started out this year, it was a brand new team. Mike Uinitsko wasn't going to be driving for one of those teams with a winning reputation, but they started building that winning reputation right after race 5 this year. He won at the Nazareth Speedway, and then 5 days later, he just backed it up with another win at Stafford. And since then, the team has just been on a roll.
Iwanitsko takes home a lot of additional awards besides the victory. The Gatorade Front Runner Award goes to Mike. Rookie of the race was Howie Brody. Today in car number 96, Brody lapped, but did a good job, kept his nose clean, and had a pretty good finish after the 200 laps of action here at Martinsville Speedway. Iwanitsko will also collect the Bud Pole Award for starting up front, his 5th pole of the season. He's been very good in qualifying in that 17 car.
Yeah, Mike Iwanitsko's got 5 Bud Pole Awards this year. The only one that's behind him is Eddie Fuente Jr. with 3. And it's been just a real storybook season for Mike Iwanitsko, especially coming out with a new team.
He wins nearly $12,000 today. Tommy Cravino takes 6th home in the 3 car ahead of Gunning. John Fortin with a good run 8th. And Tom Baldwin. Robbie Summers spun a couple of times, still gets 11th ahead of Tim DeRoyan, one of his best runs in that 20 car. Bob Polverari, Dan Avery, and L.W. Miller. Frank Fleming finishes 16th ahead of Wade Cole. Jamie Tomato faded at the end to 18th. There's Howie Brody, the rookie of the race, in 19th spot. Mike Stefanik really takes a hit in the points battle here.
Yeah, it was a real tough break for Mike Stefanik. That, the lug nut and wheel situation really played a factor into the points situation. Now, at the end of this race, Mike Stefanik is only 20 points ahead of Jerry Marquis and John Blewett, who are tied for 2nd in points. This is really going to shake it up going into Thompson International Speedway next week. How'd you like to be at that race?
It would be a great show to see, certainly. We hope you've enjoyed our coverage today here at Martinsville Speedway, the Advanced Auto Parts 200. For Derek Bernasiglio, I'm Rick Benjamin. Congratulating our winner, Mike Iwanitsko. We'll talk to you next time.